sort of a mystery how this fire, how so many started all at once.
Mm.
I've heard that law enforcement believes that some of the fires may have been started intentionally.
This is absolutely crazy. Sorry, bro. How do I get out of here?
These are the alphabet streets. They're completely gone.
Go to this side. Both sides, all the way through the sunset. You see stuff.
Hey guys, welcome to the news interview episode by Planet No.2. Since January the 7th, there's an ongoing series of wildfires that have been affecting the Los Angeles region. Joining me today, we have a very special guest, a retired attorney in California, a really good friend of mine, and an LA resident, Mr. Robert Ehrenworth, to give us some first-hand information and some updates on this catastrophe. Mr. Ehrenworth, thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, the first question I have for you today is that, Mr. Rob, given the proximity of the West Hollywood region to Eden Fire, where, West Hollywood is where you live, what is the current state of affair in this area?
Our area currently is pretty safe.
Right.
There was a moment on um, this weekend when there was a fire on the Sunset Fire, which was halfway between the Eaton Altadena fire and the Pacific Palisades fire.
Right.
And that fire, the Sunset Fire, was less than 3 miles from our house. So we got a warning to evacuate, and we were very nervous. We had only packed before that a backpack full of medicine and a few important items. And after that, we scrambled frantically to pack, and continued packing until the evacuation order was canceled. And luckily, it did get canceled because they managed to put
Right.
out that fire.
I think I saw a video that Miss Jen sent in the social media that is like that you guys can see the smoke and the fire like right away. I think a
Yeah.
few blocks away. That is really, really nerve-wracking. But I'm really glad that you guys
Wasn't
are
it was,
okay.
it was more than a few blocks away, but
Yeah.
we could see it, so it was scary. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, but I'm so glad you guys are okay. Um, so yeah, like I saw the news and all the coverage and stuff. In the light of over 12,000 construction project affected and homes being, run over by fire and loss of a dozen lives, what measures could have been implemented, do you think, that could enhance the preparation for such a catastrophic event from the government?
I'm not sure what could have been done. I think this is probably something people will debate for decades now.
Right,
Um, it will be the Great Fire of the of of 2025. The water pressure ran out in some places.
right,
Wasn't because there wasn't enough water, although had there been water, more water, had the reservoirs been filled instead of the drought that we've been having for years, there would have been naturally more pressure. But because the reservoirs are low, they put in pumps to keep the pressure going even when the reservoirs are low. Because it was built, I don't know, 50, 60, 80 years ago. I don't know when it was built. It was built in the 1950s and 60s, I think,
right,
after World War II. And at that time, they didn't have that automatic option.
right.
But and I don't know if any city has that now, but I think LA needs to develop that so that they can manage the water during fires better to keep the pressure on and going, even if the electricity gets knocked out, even if a substation gets blown away. Um, we've had a lot of earthquakes and things over the last 50 years. So they were undergoing repairs of it. So it didn't have the normal amount of water, and they had no way to channel water from other areas automatically by a push of a button. Um, I don't know what it would cost to implement such a system, probably billions. But what choice does the city have?
That's right.
Um, the other thing is, when the system was built, we didn't have homes and businesses running up the mountaintops. And yet there's been a push in development, and they go higher and higher up mountaintops. And so homes are embedded in forested, woody areas and areas that are difficult to fight fires. And uh, I don't know if it's too late to do it now, but maybe they could have demanded that homes in those areas have a more fire-resistant exterior, like metal roofs, or that they have uh, um, porcelain terracotta tile on their roof, something like this, something that's fire resistant. Um, of course, you can't really make the homes of brick and stone because that's also impractical because we have earthquakes.
Right.
In earthquakes, brick and stone homes are actually more unsafe than wooden homes. So it's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
I don't know really what any community could have done when you have a half a dozen fires going on all over the county, all at the same time, all of them huge, all of them being driven by 90-mile-per-hour winds. It just was a recipe for disaster. Um,
How can promoting sustainability and sustainable lifestyle contribute towards, the prevention of further incidents like this from happening?
well, clearly, and the governor showed a chart that shows clearly that the number of fire days California has been having
Right.
and the severity of those fires the is increasing, and it's been increasing for 20 years. So um, it's gotten to the point now where we used to have just a fire season, just a little sliver of the summer. Now we have fire season all year round. And it's because we're in a semi-arid environment to begin with, but it's gotten more arid, more dry, more drought, more hot winds, more Santa Anas, um, and more intense. So that's um, a problem. Although it's sort of a mystery how so many started all at once.
Hmm.
I've heard that law enforcement believes that some of the fires may have been started intentionally,
Hmm.
because there were no storms going on. There were no lightning strikes. So how is it that all these fires began all over the place at the same time?
Right.
It's a little difficult to understand. Um, It just, I feel terrible for those people who lost their homes and everything else, and especially those that lost their lives. It's just a tragedy. But the city will recover. It will take a long time, that's for sure.
Right. Thank you very much for coming today, Mr. Rob. in the light of those disasters from happening, me, Plan Number Two, all the members here, we are praying and hoping all the people in LA to stay safe and hopefully can recover from this disaster as soon as possible. So thank you very much for coming. Yeah.
You do good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.